Mick Corrigan here from Action Coach. I'm here with another UK business spotlight, and I'm delighted to introduce you to Ben Swindlehurst. Ben is the CEO of Asset Disposal. Welcome, Ben. Great to meet you.
Thank you.
So give us a bit of a summary of your business then. Who is it? What are you doing? Where you at?
Yeah, so Asset Disposal is a UK-based IT recycling company where we focus on data destruction, redundant IT equipment, repurposing it for reuse, recycling where appropriate, but within all of that, ensuring that all data is destroyed within government guidelines.
Good. So who are you dealing with? Who are your typical customers or partners?
So we do quite, in terms of partners, we do quite a lot with IT resellers. So when they're doing the large refreshes, obviously we come in. Generally at that point there's a reasonable buyback. We also deal with NHS's education and really any business in the UK that every company uses technology in this day and age. Every company has redundant IT equipment, and it's not the easiest to sort of dispose of.
Mm-hmm. And what happens then? What's the kind of, once you've acquired it, who are you then selling to after?
So based on the equipment, so we try and monetize every single area where we can. It's not always achievable. There is a cost associated with certain waste streams, like toners and printers and so on, and batteries. But generally, all the equipment comes into the warehouse where it's processed, categorized, weighed, graded, and then we either sell. We have a refurb department and repair department. So we will then refurb and sell back to consumer through our e-commerce department. We have a number of UK-based traders that look to buy volume of that sort of mid-tier range of IT equipment, and then anything that's completely cannot be repurposed or reused is then broken down, and everything is then sort of recycled with our various partners down to its sort of original form where we can.
Okay, so it's quite a mechanical process, I suppose. You've got a kind of stage by stage process of what happens. What would you say, Ben, differentiates you from other options that might be out there?
I think the one thing that differentiates is there's not many of us within the UK. There's only, I think maybe there's about 500 companies probably doing the same, but there's probably only about 50 or 60 that are accredited that have invested in the procedures, in the policies, in the processes, so that we are absolutely disposing of the data in line with all cybersecurity and data security, and also disposing of all the byproduct through a sustainable way. And I think that's how we differentiate ourselves, is that we offer both the sustainability side to the disposal and the data destruction.
Right. Okay. Got you. So I know you've grown over the last few years. What does the future look like? What are the challenges ahead, and what are the opportunities?
So the challenges that we have is a lot of customers are unaware of what they need to do with their IT equipment and electrical waste. In some areas, it's highly regulated to the point of being complex that everyone just goes, I don't know what to do. And then in other areas, it's completely unregulated, which then creates that entities or people can manipulate that given situation. So our biggest hurdle is educating the end user about how to dispose of waste, and if there is a value and if there isn't a value. So that is definitely our biggest hurdle. What does the future hold? I mean, I can't see tech slowing down. I think for us, it's about how we manage the growth of that and recognizing the ceiling that we will reach in our current operational format.
Okay, so bright future ahead then.
Well, I'd like to think so, yes.
Yeah. So what have been the learnings for you along the way, Ben? What have you learned about, what have you learned about yourself, first of all?
What have I learned about myself? It's managing people, I would say, is the biggest learning curve. I think I'm quite a bit older now, approaching 50. Definitely a different person to what I was when I was managing people at 30. I think I've learned to be a lot more patient and to really get to know the staff and the customers and the suppliers. So I've definitely learned it's down to the relationship that we have as a company with all of those people.
Absolutely, very important. Yeah.
Yeah.
And bit of a hypothetical one, Ben, but if you were starting all over again, with the benefit of hindsight, knowing what you now know, what might you do differently?
That is a very, very difficult question to answer. I don't actually think I would do anything differently, because I don't think it was possible to at the time, in terms of coming into a business that was already established. I think maybe, again, going back to the people, I think we kept hold of certain people for too long. So I think if I had that time again, I would make a quicker decision about whether or not that person was right from a culture perspective within the business.
Interesting. From a culture perspective, specifically.
From a culture perspective, I think it's down to us as a business to we can make anybody as good as they can be in terms of what they need to learn and the training and the support and all of that. But actually, I think it really does boil down to whether or not the individual cares. We've got some members of staff that are just really happy clocking in, clocking out. They've got their own remit within the process, and they just enjoy that sort of approach to it. We've got other people that are really ambitious, and when you find those nuggets, like our ops director, he started off as a driver on minimum wage 4 years ago, and he's practically running the business every day. Seeing that individual grow and grasp the opportunity and care versus someone that doesn't care and who can become quite negative, that has such an impact on everybody. So I think the culture of those members of staff is key to its success.
And Ben, with that perspective on culture, which I agree is hugely important, what impact has that had on your recruitment policy?
I suppose you just become a little bit more wiser in terms of the personalities that fit in. I think because the team, we've been, at certain stages we've been up to 60 staff, and now we're down at just under 30. But we're getting so much more out of our staff because of the team that they've created. I haven't created that. They've created the way that they all operate collectively. So it's all about our recruitment policies, whether or not they fit into the culture that they've created. And that is the hardest part, as to know whether or not that personality will or not. And that's how we now define our recruitment, to go, can we develop this individual and can they become an important part of that team? And if that is the case, then we're interested. If they're just interested about themselves and just want a job, they're probably not the right person for us.
Hire on will, train the skill, as a phrase I heard many years ago.
Yeah, I've never heard that before, but yeah, that probably fits. That was a very quick way to answer my question.
Well, it was a great answer, and thanks for sharing it. That's been fantastic. And Ben, okay. I wish you all the best for the future. Well done.
Thank you very much.